Yeah, we've been keeping our powder dry to get our business in order. We've got a nice business plan going forward here on the copper space. And this is why we're out marketing this weekend and going forward for 2025. I guess I'm here to segue us from gold to copper. And the way I'm going to do that is have a little fun here. Why did I get into copper? Well, it started 20 years ago. I was in China, and I was building China's second largest gold mine through a company called Jinshan Guangye, which is now China Gold International. And I was sitting on, Beijing's third ring row, which is where Chen used, that's his backyard. And we had an index back then, and it was 1 to 5. 5 meant you could see 5 buildings away from you. And back then, it was mostly 1. You couldn't see the building across from you for all the air pollution that was in the air. So back then, we thought, okay, China is going to make a change here. They're going to go to electrification, electric cars. And this is when I got into a company called Western Lithium, which is now Lithium Americas. And China had a plan back then, a nascent automotive industry. They wanted to become a major producer of automobiles. So fast forward to today, China is now the largest producer of automobiles in the world. They produce over 30 million cars a year. And just to compare that, the US used to be the largest producer. The US produces about 16 million. 50% of the cars that China produces today are electric. They just crossed over last week. And I don't know where the tipping point is, but we're far past the tipping point. China produces so many cars that they're now exporting to the rest of the world, particularly in South America. We're starting to see, just in the last few years, cars show up in places like Lima. So all these cars need to be plugged in now. And the energy for these cars needs to be produced. And primarily, again, in places like China and the rest of the world, we're seeing a global renewable energy increase by 20% 10 years ago. Now it's 30% of the global production. Very metal intensive, and it needs copper. Copper is the enabling metal for all these technologies and energy transitions. So this is why I'm in copper. And if you're going to invest in a copper business ahead of a major copper cycle, you can either invest in the existing producers, and BHP is one of the largest copper producers in the world. And if you hit the timing right, you can get 3 to 5 times on your investment if you hit the cycle right, or double your investment if you stay there for a long time. Or you can invest in a new copper growth company, a copper business. And this is what Antofagasta was in the 1990s. They went and bought their first mine, the Machilla mine in Chile, and from there they never looked back. And they created an incredible copper business. And this is what Camino is. We're buying our first asset, our first production asset with a partnership between Denham Capital, which is a $12 billion private equity group, Nititsu Mining, which operates the Atacama Cozad mine in Chile. They're also building a $400 million mine next to this third asset that they're joint venturing with Camino. So let's take a ride down to Santiago and take a look at this project. So we go down to Chile. Chile's, arguably the largest producer of copper in the world. They produce about 45% of all the copper in the world. Up to La Serena. La Serena is a nice industrial city built along a beautiful coastline there in Chile. It's about a 2-hour drive up to Puquios. Of course, Chile is an excellent jurisdiction for copper production. And then we get to the town of Punta Colorada, which is where our company has its major infrastructure. What we've been doing here is mining is inherently risky. So with this company, we're reducing our risks in terms of this company has its major environmental permit to go into construction phase. We've got 50,000 meters of drilling now complete. This is a reserve category company and with an engineering study behind it. And ultimately what we're building is a copper leaching project, which is called an SXEW mine. And this is the most cost-effective way to get a copper mine into production. We own our water wells. This mine will run off of fresh water. We own 4 of these wells. When you build a mine, you need water, power, access. We've got a deal with Barrick Gold where we can drop a 23 kV substation into their power station to connect us to the grid. And then from there, it's a 45 kilometer drive takes less than 45 minutes, up along a road that's maintained by Barrick as they maintain this road all the way to Pascualama. We pull off of this road, and then a kilometer up, we see the earthworks that have been completed in order to receive our SXEW plant. As I mentioned, the capital intensity for these projects is much lower than traditional mines. And a project like this, it's gravity fed, so our crushing system is above our SXEW project, and then we're basically mining the top of that mountain that you see there. Gives us a nice low strip ratio, and this is, and then we've got a large body sulfide resource that we can explore below the project. If we go to the fly to the top of the mine, look over the edge. Of course, all these projects have exploration. So there's a lot of exploration that can be done on the project. I think the upside on this will be to really look at that sulfide resource and at higher copper prices, look at the technologies to leach the sulfide zones. The engineering has been done by Osenko Engineering. We just released a new engineering study yesterday that's on our website. And this is ultimately what we're building, copper cathode. So this is the engineering study that was completed. We've got a full definitive feasibility study that was done in 2021, and this is simply an update in order to complete our transaction, which is why I'm out marketing today. It's March the 1st, and this transaction will close with Denham Capital and Ititsu Mining on March 31st of this month. So we're 1 month away. I've been working on this deal for a couple of years, but in earnest for the last year. So I'm quite excited to get this business out into the market. Also in Peru, we're drilling. In fact, we're drilling today with the same partner, Ititsu Mining. They've invested, or they're investing $10 million, $7 million to date for a 35% interest in our project in Peru. So the project in Peru is fully funded. We've been drilling on our Los Chapitos project. You can see here, exceptional drill results, 95, 96, 91 meters of 0.7, 0.8, 0.9% copper. We do get high grade. We get 4.5 meters of 5%, 6 meters of 3%. So it's a high grade deposit. We think we're about halfway there to a mine with what you see in this slide. So what we're doing is we're stepping out, and we're not stepping out by 50 or 100 meters. In this case, we step out 2 kilometers and hit some of the same numbers, 55 meters of 0.9, 65 meters of 0.7, and high grade again, 19 meters of 1.3. So this is what we're doing on this project. We've got 3 main copper trends, the Diva trend, the La Estancia trend, and the Atajo trend, and this is where we're drilling. If you follow those trends off of our project, you can see, Rio Tinto, just in the last year, has staked next to us. Rio is there for what they think can be a very large deposit, and the ultimate prize would be to discover something like the world's newest copper mine, which is the Minsur mine, the Mina Justa deposit, which does about 100,000 tons a year of copper cathode for a price tag of about $1.6 billion. It takes a long time to get these mines into production. It can take decades. You can just see a timeline here of when people walk on the project, like Puquias, 1979, and we're 1 month away now to close the transaction and to start going into a construction mode in 2025, 2026, and ultimately try to meet a production target for 2027. We've got a tight share structure, about 45 million shares outstanding. I'm a large shareholder of the company. Denham Capital will become our largest shareholder. Denham, as I mentioned, is a large private equity group. We've got Ititsu as our operator, and they will construct the mine in Chile for us. So Camino is right in the middle there to capture all the value. And I encourage you to watch what we're doing here in 2025 and become a shareholder, and then you got a real interest and a reason to call me up and ask me about what the future is for copper. Thank you very much.